What's up, everyone? It's me, Luan. Episode 3, let's go. So it is currently Monday for me. It's a fantastic Monday. TGIM to everyone out there who is about to jump into their Monday, if they see this, or for our Aussies. Hope you guys had a great Monday. Plan for today. So today has been pretty hectic already. Just been trying to get ready for Christmas. We've been doing a bunch of stuff around the house, trying to organize a bunch of renovation things. My dad's going to be tiling a bathroom for us, which is super awesome. I had to pick up the tiles and do all the grout stuff, so that took up a lot of my morning. So I'm here. I got 2 hours. 2 hours to do some damage and move the needle forward towards our goals. To become a virtuoso. So right now, there's 3 things I want to do today. The very first thing I want to do is get a stream done. I really want to hop on and stream for you guys. We're going to do a quick little stream. I'll probably do like 30 minutes. My goal is 30 minutes. If it goes longer, hey, we do it. It'd be fun. Sing some songs, play some guitar solos for you guys. And then I want to record some content. The goal today, actually, for content creation, because when we're talking about moving the needle forward, obviously you got to get better as a musician and then get better as a community. So that's for me. I see that as like, hey, I'm gonna hop on stream, get to hang out with you guys, interact. I get to play my music. That makes me improve. And then the thing that's gonna make us move forward the most is definitely content. So I need to create some content, and I did in episode 2 you'll see I don't know if I haven't edited the second episode yet. I just haven't had time, but I'm going to do that today as well, tonight maybe when I get home. But basically in that video I recorded a clip of like teaching your kid how to play shotgun, and straight away like Facebook, a couple of the platforms it's done really well, getting really great engagement. So I'm going to iterate on that one. But the main goal for content creation is, because I use a decent camera that I'm recording on right now. It's a Sony ZV-E10, I believe. And whenever I record short form content, I always use my phone. So I really want to see if I can figure out a way to do, vertical style video and then connect the audio and do that. So that's my goal in content creation. Today on like how can I learn to do short form video using a good lens, using a good camera, instead of relying on the crutch that is my phone to get through that. But above all that, like that's all the musical stuff we're going to do today. But the most important thing that I really want to go through today is actually just to respond to a comment that was made by Crash. He's a follower on our TikTok, in our TikTok community, but he jumped onto the YouTube the very first episode, and he commented a really, really amazing comment, which I'm like, this is exactly what this whole journey is about. You guys get to see everything firsthand. Like my goal with the Road to Virtuoso, I don't want it to be like scripted. I don't really care about it being super edited, and I want it to be raw. And if you want the rawness and you like this rawness, please let me know if you like this. Obviously, I make this content for myself and also for you guys. So my goal is I want it to be raw. I want it to be unscripted. I want it to feel like you're in the room, you're watching this, because becoming a good musician, just becoming great in anything, as soon as you put the word great in your mind of like, I want to achieve something great, there's a stigma that you see in everything in all movies, and I love it's a Hormozy talks about. I don't know if you guys are fans of Alex Hormozy, but he's a really great entrepreneur. But he makes a reference to a frame of the Rocky cutscene goes for 2 minutes in the movie, but in real life it can go for like 4 years. And so that's the thing that I feel like we don't get to see with a lot of musicians. You kind of don't get to see them basically eating shit, Like, all of us as musicians have to go through just sucking And like every time in every single space, it doesn't really matter where you're at as a musician. If you are learning a new song, you will suck at that song from the get-go. And it's the only thing that happens as you improve as a musician. Well, at least the thing that we hope that happens is that the skills that you build along the way from certain songs can then be used for future songs. And then hopefully, like, you learning one song might take you like 5 hours, and then eventually, you know, it only takes you 2 hours, and then 1 hour, and then 40 minutes, and then 30 minutes, and then like you'll see in episode 2, when it comes for me to learn guitar parts, like if I just have to play chords and learn rhythm, like I can learn that in like 3 minutes. I'll just hear a song 2 rounds and I'll probably be quite comfortable for like, I'd say 80% of music, unless it's like something that has a more delicate harmony, or like a delicate like movements with the harmony, like listening to maybe like a Stevie Wonder track, or just any kind of like jazz style or progressive rock or things like that. Things where people are being creative with the harmonic track. 80s music, oh my god. 80s music totally does this. But yeah, there's so many songs that just do random stuff and in 80s style. But those are the ones that might be a bit tricky for me, but I still figure it out. But you know, that's just built on the skill set of me playing guitar for like, you know, over 18 years. And then also having good ear training and performing and doing all that and just playing hundreds of songs. So that is the byproduct of it. But, you know, it'd be pretty cool if we got to see, I mean, I look at this, I'm like, man, I wish I could see what John Mayer looked like when he was young. You know, what did John Mayer look like practicing to write his first album? Or what did John Mayer look like, you know, to record Continuum? And like when you do see stuff, you see it is curated, getting like the best parts. One thing he recently, just on the topic of John Mayer, he recently released a clip of him doing a demo. He played the demo of Gravity, and Gravity is one of my favorite songs. If you're a John Mayer fan, Gravity is like easy, one of the best songs he's written. And it was crazy because he just gave us this raw demo of him singing Gravity, and it's him playing the bass, him playing guitar, singing, doing the harmonies and stuff. And to hear how he changed the demo to the final track is just amazing, because like the lyrics that he had, like some of them was like, it was something about like desire, you know, gravity is working against me, gravity wants me to bring me down. Oh no, it wasn't wants me to bring you down, wants me like take me away or something. He had a different lyric for bring me down, and I'm like, oh my god, it's so clear. Like, bring me down is just so much better than whatever he had. But so to hear that, like, you know, A-B of it was so cool. But anyway, I just want to address Crash's comment before I get like too sidetracked with this. So Crash, you were chatting about, just to give you guys context of the comment, and you can see it in my first episode. It's one of the awesome ones that he wrote. It's a big paragraph, and basically, Crash is talking about like, what are the similarities between him and I, and where is he like trying to accomplish his goals in music? Like, what are the things holding him back? And he knows things that might be holding him back, but he doesn't know how to get to the point between, you know what you're doing wrong versus how do I move? How do I make that first action? How do I make the first step that's going to lead me towards the path that I'm like, lead you on that path that you're going for? And in music, it's pretty crazy because there's just a lot of psychological bullshit that you really have to go through. And so Crash, when I was thinking about like how to like, this is not going to be the first time I say this. I'm going to iterate on this. This is just off the cuff how I can like give you some value, and hopefully it might give you a better perspective on how I see things and the techniques I've tried to employ to do things. The biggest thing when it comes to like me moving forward and trying to get comfortable in uncomfortable situations, picking up skills that I really suck at, learning a new song, writing a song, jumping on a stage, doing all those things. In every situation has been about, one, understanding that the actions have nothing to do with how I feel. That is one thing that is, I'll elaborate on these points a bit more, but the actions have nothing to do with how I feel. And then secondly, we choose our regrets, I think, in life. And so when I talk about like how I feel doesn't determine whether I do the actions. So just to give you context for today, I woke up today, my plan was go to bed at 11:30 p.m. And then after going to bed at 11:30 p.m., wake up at 6 a.m., edit the second episode. By 7 a.m., I would be going and taking the trailer, loading up all the tiles, all the glue and all that stuff for my dad, bring it back home. By the time that's all done, get to have breakfast with my wife and daughter, and then smash the day. I would have like from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. to execute, and I'm like, yes, let's go. Now, Adeline heard that plan. She must have like totally felt that plan, and she was like, you know what? Fuck you. And in her cutest way, decided to wake up. And she was having a rough day. She's getting a bit sick. So she was awake from like 1 a.m. till like 3 in the morning. And, I tried to sleep. I was definitely not the most exciting bundle of joy for my wife, and she tolerated my drama. And she hung out with Adeline, took care of her. I tried to sleep, couldn't sleep. I finally managed to go to bed at like 4 a.m. because I had a big flare up on my shoulder, and then went to bed at like 4 a.m. or something on the couch, just like woke up every hour because of my shoulder. And then, by 8 o'clock, I had to get up and get ready and to do what I needed to do. So I'm kind of running on like 3 hours sleep or whatever it is right now. But that didn't mean I couldn't do what I needed to do. That didn't mean I couldn't go and do what, like, I could have been annoyed, angry, blah, blah, blah. It didn't mean I couldn't show up to do what I needed to do. So regardless of me being tired, if I get in the car and I go to do X job, the job will get done. Whether it's like done efficiently or well, or if it is done, it is done. The goal is never going to be perfect. Like, perfection is what holds most people back. This is the goal, get it done, smash it, and then you move forward. Now, if you're aiming for perfection in that day, like especially if I woke up at, 8 a.m., I could have woken up at 8 a.m. and been like, well, my perfect day is ruined. My plan is fucked. I will not get to the studio on time. I will not get to stream the way I want. I won't get to learn the songs. I won't get to do content creation the way I want to do it. I wouldn't be in front of this camera right now if I walked in and I was like, I needed my day to work X way and Y has happened. So knowing that, the way the day has gone is I went and did all the stuff that I needed to do, came back. When I was unloading the tiles, my wife and daughter are sitting there in the living room. She's being fed breakfast and super cute. So is my wife, super cute. And I'm like, well, cool. Like, I got to try and not get emotional over these things. But that for me was like, I won the game. The game has been won. I don't need this video to be good. I don't need the songs to be good. I don't need shit to be good. I don't need to be the best songwriter. I don't need to be the best guitarist. I've won the game for when I walked through the door and I got to see that. And it didn't mean like I could have been mad about doing like lifting tiles and being tired and doing all that stuff. But I was like, nah, it's all good. Like, Adeline's waving at me going like, hey, which is like the first time she's ever done that. And then she was doing like, hey, daddy. And I was like, oh my God, this is just like pulling on heartstrings, and it made the shitty job easy. Now then that also gave me the thing to be like, yeah, well, I know that the only thing that's going to stop me from recording this video is me recording the video. Now when it comes to music, that's everything. That is, do you want to get good at the song? Show up and play the song. Do you want to get good at singing? Show up and sing. Majority of the time, we get stuck in our own heads over someone's judgment or something that is holding us back. Like for me, it was definitely like my uncle's judgment and my dad's judgment. You figure out whose voice it is in your head that's been like worked you over the years. And it was like getting to the point where like, you know, those voices are the things that hold you back to do X. And then like the perfection of like, I need to be perfect because I want to prove everyone like who might doubt me or I will feel the judgment. You know, you would want that aspect of it to, so I'm just collecting my thoughts to make sure I'm clear. You would want the perfection to stop that from happening. You would think that perfection would stop that from happening. And then that whole element of like, oh, you know, that's a whole big can of worms that holds you back from action. You know, worrying if someone's going to yell at you or worry anything like that. So for me, it's like the actions and how I feel, like how I feel, the judgment around everything that I do, all that stuff, none of that affects me doing something or not. And once I got to a point where like that truly was the case, like I truly felt that way, I was like, all right, you can just do anything you want. You can sing a certain way, you can perform a certain way, you can do whatever. It just becomes about like, do you want to do the inputs, and then that's it. The output result, like the result of whatever you do, that's something I can't really quantify. That's something that I look at like, I don't know if the videos will do well, I don't know if the content will do well, I don't know if anything, I don't know if like me talking to you like this even matters. But I know that I can talk to you like this, I can push record, and I can give you this information, this perspective. If it helps you, wicked. But that I can control. Now, I'm trying to think back on what I said was the second thing that was really like the way I see things. I might just like butcher what I was thinking earlier, but just because I went down that tangent. But the second thing that I think is hypercritical in what I want to do, or like how I do things and I see things, is knowing that none of this matters. Like truly, like when you go out there and you perform and you do things, like we choose what our regrets are going to be in life. I think is that what I said earlier was the second thing, like we get to choose our regrets? Because for me, it was a saying I heard like a month or two ago, and I was like, yeah, that's fucking exactly the truth. We choose our regrets. And it can be done on a micro level and a macro level. So I'll give you an example on a macro level. For me, I can show up today and I can do my music and I can stream and I can create content and do whatever I'm going to do. Or I could play World of Warcraft. Now, both of them serve a vision of me that I fucking love. I love World of Warcraft. Haven't played World of Warcraft in forever, but I love it. Like, I fucking love the shit out of that game. That is like one of my favorite things in the world to play. Like, jumping in there, that whole world, everything. I'm so good at it. I really love that. I love music, and I love the idea that I could write a hit song one day. Now, I have to choose which one I would rather regret being. Would I rather regret being the guy who accomplishes X, or would I regret being the guy who plays the game? You know, and so both of them, regardless of what you prefer and like what you value in your life, like they both matter in whatever space like you care about. It's like, which one do you want to lose? Now, I know that if I didn't try my hardest towards music, I would regret that a lot. Like, I would regret that way more than if I had FOMO for missing out on doing a raid or doing something on the game. Like, you know, whatever. Like, I don't know if you guys know much about video games, but like, I would regret that a lot less when I'm 80, hopefully. Touch wood, I get to 80. That'd be dope. But I would regret that a lot less than if I knew that, hey, in my 30s, all I had to do was practice guitar 5-6 hours a day, or like practice music 5-6 hours a day, and I could have become a hit songwriter. And like, that would be the hardest pill to swallow when I was 80. Then, oh, I just didn't get to play Wrath of the Lich King re-released, you know? So like, that is the thing which drives me to be like, okay, well, I'm going to do X. Now, when I get on a stage, I'm like, okay, do I want to be the guy who is scared to sing in his falsetto? Because me singing in falsetto is terrifying because I'm not a high vocal singer. But me singing falsetto is really hard. Now, do I want to regret being the guy that tries to sing falsetto in a room with like 200 people that might judge me, or like don't actually give a shit about me? Like, they're gonna hear it, and if it fails, they're gonna be like, you suck. Like, what is the worst? They will literally say, you suck, and throw a beer bottle at me, or the many things that I have been told before, which is, you sound like shit, stop singing, you shouldn't quit your day job, you stick to playing guitar. The stick to playing guitar is the funniest one, because that's one thing that I heard, and that was my dad who said that to me one day when I first tried to sing. He's like, you should stick to playing guitar. And it's like, that shit sticks with you forever. But do you want to be the guy who's like, I'm afraid of hearing that, I'm afraid of feeling that, I'm afraid of doing that, and then when I'm 80, I'm going to go back and be like, yeah, I mean, I could have done it. I could have gotten good at singing, but, you know, I was worried that, you know, Jimbo over at the back, who is, you know, having his Friday knockoff drinks and having a yarn with his mates and talking shit, is going to, you know, be annoyed at me for me executing like 30 seconds of a song, performing a falsetto. You know, so that's where, like, when you expand the time horizon and you look and you're like, well, that doesn't really matter. And try to think of it, there's like a frame that these guys like Dr. Kashi and Hormozy use, and it's like the frame of the veteran, where it's like, if you did it 100 times, like if 100 times you sang like for instance me singing falsetto, and then 100 times someone said I sounded like shit, how would you feel after the 100th time? And if like you were pretty comfortable that like, yeah, I can hack it, I can take it, then you should do it the first time. Like, you should definitely jump in and go, let's go. So I think when you learn to know that you can choose your regrets, I think that was a big unlock for me, to be like, okay, well, I'm going to regret something. You know, I'm going to regret, maybe there'll be a part of me that regrets like being a fucking nerd and sitting there playing World of Warcraft with a bunch of like, you know, 30-year-olds who really don't care about stuff, and they just complain about pixels. I could regret that. But I would rather regret that than regret being the guy who tried. Being the guy who tried to make, like, who tried to get on the stage, who tried to sing the songs he couldn't sing, who tried to play the guitar licks that he couldn't play, who tried to write the songs that he didn't think he could write, who tried to create the content that didn't know could bring value. So on a macro level, I don't know if that's going to help you. That's just how I see things currently at the moment. There's more that I could just keep ranting. I mean, I'm looking at the fucking time on this, and it's like 24 minutes. If you made it to 24 minutes of me ranting on this shit, please, in the comments, just type in, I was here, we can do this. And, or I'm really sorry that I just kept going on. But that is truly how I feel. So I hope Crash that this helps you. I hope it helps you drive forward and you smash things and you get to hop on a stage where you're not uncomfortable. And remember, perfect's not the goal. Like when you think about regrets and things like that, you're not going to regret turning on your iPhone and live streaming. You're not going to regret putting your camera on and just recording yourself with a shitty audio, shitty everything. Like, doing the work is what needs to be done, you know? And then when you post, like, if having the perfect audio is stopping you from creating, then that's the thing that you need to figure out, because it's actually not the audio that's the problem. It's the belief behind, what do I need to create? Like, what's the psychological thing holding me back? Whose voice am I hearing that's holding me back? What's holding me back from pushing record and posting something shit? You know, you want to post the shittest content ever. You want to get out there and you want to be like, fucking let's go. I'm about to post episode 2, and episode 2 is me learning creep. I suck at creep. Like, and your subjective opinion or not, like, go ahead, jump in, be subjective, and you can like it or hate it. I don't know. Me jumping in, I listen back to that and I'm like, that is fucking garbage. Wow. I cannot wait to see what it sounds like after I've sung it 100 times, you know? But I was like, whatever, this is what this point is. You guys need to see the process. You need to see me doing it, and I will have it documented so that in a year, I will go back and I'll look at episode 2 and I'll be like, that's me singing Creep for the first time. That's the first time I ever sang falsetto that way. I've never sung falsetto that way. I even showed my wife and she was like, what the fuck? Like, that's crazy. And I was like, I was surprised too. I was like, you can see it in the episode. If you go back and see it, you can see my face visibly get excited, being like, that wasn't, my expectation was like, it is total garbage. It was not total, it was listenable. And I was like, oh, I mean, it's not great, but it was listenable. And I was like, that defied all my expectations. Because my expectation was like, I'm gonna record the shittest version of Creep, let's go. That's how I thought about it in my head. And then I just did it. And then I even had the balls to do the, you know, the, where does he do the, she's running out the door, and then he does that oh, I did that big vocal like thing. So hopefully that helps you. I really do hope that helps you, Crash. But yeah, so man, I'm at 27 minutes. This is really long. Oh well. It is what it is. I'm going to post it. If it's shit, it is shit. And again, I just got to, you know, I'm going to do what I say. You know, like a lot of people, like they say a lot of great advice, or they have a lot of great like opinions, and then they do the opposite. What is it? The Solomon effect or whatever. But so I'm going to sip my own Kool-Aid. I'm going to post this. It's going to be, you know, 28 minutes of a bit of interesting takes, but hopefully that gives you a bit more context into how I think, how I see things. I might add a bit of fun clips at the end of the stream if I manage to do it, because it's at like 2:30. Holy shit, we're running out of time. But yeah, let me know if that helps you, Crash. And yeah, just get out there and do it. Like, don't be afraid. Seriously, just be shit, because shit is the manure that is going to fertilize your greatness. It's going to fertilize your potential, and that is what you got to think about it as. You got to be like, all right, I'm going to post like 300 videos of me singing, and they're going to suck, but maybe on 301, it's good. You know, you're going to get on stages, you're going to get on a couple hundred stages. Like, I've easily done like close to 2,000 plus shows now. And those first 100 shows were pretty shit. Like, super bad. My vocal performance were not good. I didn't have repertoire. I just made mistakes, you know, and I was lucky I was in a place where I could make mistakes. And then it got to 300 shows, and then another flip switched, and I was like, okay, I could do a bit better here. And then at 500 shows, another thing got flipped. And then you just have to go in the terms of 100. Just think, every 100 shows, something is going to work. And then the true unlock is when you can if you can think in hundreds of like, in 100 more shows, I will get better, or in 100 more pieces of content, I will get better. But in that macro space of doing like, I'm going to do 100 pieces of content, and my expectation will be like, what does number 1 look like, and what does number 100 look like, and then compare the two. But along the way, you are like, what more can I do better today? What more better can I do on number 5? What better can I do on number 6? Better on number 7, number 8, number 9. And if you compound that, I'm going to get a little bit better each time, but your expectation is to compare once you hit 100, you are 100% guaranteed going to get so fucking good. So that is in any area that in music, I can't tell you for life because I don't know shit about life. I don't know shit about anything except how to play guitar and how to sing now. And eventually it'll be how to do content, and eventually it will be how to do writing songs. So that's all I can speak to. So I know that with anyone that I've seen who walks in and tries to get better each day and has an expectation of like, I will accomplish X in like 100 times, you know, they usually get there. Or they get close, you know, or they're not even close at all and they fucking suck on the 100th, but 1 to 100 compared to where they started is a huge difference anyway. So you're gonna grow no matter what, between performing, getting good at writing, getting good at singing, getting good at playing, getting good at producing content. Like, do it all, man. So I really just wanted to make sure that I got into the studio, recorded that for you, Crash. I hope that is a lot better than me just writing a quick comment. And I really hope that serves you and anyone else in the future who consumes this video or sees this video, or Adeline when you grow up and you wonder, what the fuck was Dad thinking? That's what I was thinking on this day that you decided to wake up and be the cutest little girl at 2 a.m, as Sarah told me that you were incredibly adorable when you woke up. So playing around the Christmas tree and pointing at cool things and being an absolute cutie. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for your time. If I manage to edit and put bits of the stream, I probably won't, honestly. I just want to get this content out there, and then I'll do episode 4 will be something more musically oriented. But yeah, I really felt strongly that Crash, you deserved a bit more context and a bit more perspective. So hopefully that helps. I really appreciate you being vulnerable in the comments and really like, you know, opening up about, you know, your pain points and what you're looking for. So yeah, let's go. Episode 3 in the bag. Yo.